Go.
I'm here with Tony Stevenson to ask him a couple questions about rugby. So Tony, what was your favorite part about playing rugby?
Just getting sweaty and playing game and belting up on guys, and the camaraderie, the team.
Really?
The team thing,
That was your favorite thing about it?
I guess so. A game's a game, and it was a lot of fun.
So did you have any serious injuries?
A couple.
Yeah. Like what?
Well, I busted the neck at one point. So that was the
Like
end of my
broke
rugby.
it?
Yeah, that was the end of my rugby career. So,
How'd you break your neck?
16, I tackled a guy the wrong way. Got my head between my shoulders and his hip, and ended up in neck brace for about 4 months. So
When you were 16?
yeah. So yeah, so that was fun.
Do you still play rugby now?
No,
Do you-
refereed for a while.
Oh, you referee?
Yeah, that was the end of my rugby. So I had 6th and 7th vertebrae were crushed. So
I never knew that.
no. Oh well, there you go.
Do you have? Is there any permanent injury? Like you can't bend it one way or another?
No, they
or?
said I'm supposed to have arthritis, but I haven't got any yet. So
That's a good thing.
just a head injury. Pat and Franny used to that.
So did you play in Australia or did you play here?
No, I played in Australia at school. So we had.
So instead of football teams, they have school rugby teams?
Yeah. Depends on the school. Depends on the region in the country. Like if you go to the south, around the south and the west, it's Australian rules football. If you're sort of up on the mid-east and north, it's sort of rugby and a crossover with Australian rules, depending on what the schools play and who chose what fields they've got available.
What was the hardest part about the game? Just conditioning?
Yeah, it's
Very tiring.
like anything else. If you want to do it, you got to go out and be fit. So like any sport, so you can't just sit there and turn up for Saturday and expect to play a game on Saturday without having some sort of fitness stuff.
Gotcha.
So I heard professional soccer players run 7 miles a game. How many do you think y'all run?
That's probably pretty close.
7 miles a game?
Yeah, it was a fair way because it's something that you're playing 40-minute halves, and you don't really stop. So it's, and particularly if you're a forward, which is like the scrimmage line, the forwards, they get to jog around a bit because they're usually heavier guys. But if you're playing in the backs, which is like the receivers and so forth, you're constantly going side to side.
What did you play?
Bit of both. I was in the forwards for a while, and then I was in the backs for a bit. So cool. I got a little bit too fast for my own good and stuck me in the backs. So,
When did you start playing rugby?
I was about 6 or 7.
6?
Yeah.
When you're little, is it still straight on contact or is it touch?
But
Really?
you don't get hurt at that age. You get hurt, but it's not serious. It's only when you get to 15, 16, you start bulking up, the muscles are there, you're still playing like you're 11 years old, but you don't have any mass behind you or momentum behind you, and that's when you start having the serious injuries at 16, 17 years of age.
That's when you broke your neck.
Yeah. So,
How is it any similar to football, if it is at all?
well, similar shaped ball. So, yeah. The tackling's a bit different. You look at rugby and think, how can you tackle without the padding?
Yeah.
But the tackling's different. Football, I look at it and go, how the heck can they stand getting tackled? Because you cross over behind the line of scrimmage. If you're a receiver and you cross in behind the line of scrimmage, you're going to get nailed from every direction possible.
Really?
Rugby, you generally know where you're going to get hit from. Usually there's not that many people around you. And they separate rugby. The referees do a pretty good job of separating it out. You've got one side coming at the other side, usually front on, unless there's a break. And then you know that there's only 1 or 2 players that are coming at you, and they're coming at you from a particular direction generally. So you're not getting this sort of scissor movement on top of it. The tacklers don't hit you sideways at all different directions. You generally know where you're going to get hit from, and you can brace for it. So, and then if you're a tackler and you're not padded up, you're not going to hit that hard either. So,
Are you allowed any padding at all?
1/2 inch thick, I think it is fine.
For how big of an area?
You can do your head. You can do a little bit around your knees and your elbows. You can do pretty much anywhere you want with the foam. But
So
it's
you're
got to be foam with
half inch of foam?
That's about it. Yeah. So it's just foam.
Do you wish you could still play?
No, not now.
Like when you were 17,
I'm too old
18,
for it now.
or?
Yeah, well, I looked at it and think, it's a fun game to play. If you look at rugby, every now and again it'll come on TV. And you look at the forwards and you'll see them all with cauliflower ears.
Oh, just like
ears
boxers?
Yeah, the ears are all just knobs. Their noses are usually not straight. There's usually a couple of different bends in there. So, you know, the common thing with rugby is a broken nose and mashed up ears.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So last question, is there like a rugby Olympics necessarily like there is soccer?
Well, Olympics, rugby sevens is an Olympic sport this year. So
This year it's
yep, in London they're doing rugby sevens.
Really?
Yep.
It's cool.
And,
What do you mean by sevens?
Instead of, normally you've got 15 aside,
Mhm.
15 players on each team. And then rugby sevens is a cut down version. They play 7-minute halves, so you've got 2 7-minute halves for the game, and you've got 7 players. And it doesn't sound like long, but it's a full length field, and you're running all the time, and the guys just, they're done. When they're done, after a 14-minute game, you wouldn't think much of it, but they're worn out because they're constantly getting tackled, they're on the ground, they're up again. It's like going through a massive training session at school for football.
Wow.
And you just get 14 minutes of full on with about a 2-minute break in between for the half.
Gotcha.
So you'll see it at the London Olympics if the NBC shows it. But it's, you know, those guys are fit, and they're big and they're fit. So
That's crazy.
yeah. But yeah, it's a fun game. The Olympic gold medal holders are actually the USA rugby team. So I think, yeah,
Wow.
rugby used to be part of the Olympics back in the 1930s something, and then it got cut out. And the last team to win the gold medal in it was the USA. So, wow. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you, Tony.
Hey, not a problem, Andrew. Thanks, Clay. Yeah.